Good morning, everyone. I hope you're good. Yeah, this morning I'm here to just give a little video about the misconception and narrative that frustrates me about Africa. Most times, Africa is a very wonderful continent with great heritage, great cultural heritage, and great diversity. But it's quite unfortunate that when you go to the media, what they always showcase about Africa, they show poverty, they show sick children, they show kwashoko children, they show war, they show conflict, they show underdevelopment. They go to places that are not okay. There are places in other continents of the world that are not okay, but they hardly showcase those places. Africa have great talents that are doing outstanding things, but most times those ones are undermined. They are not putting it out there. As an African, I'm a rich African girl. You know, I have great cultural heritage. I have great academic heritage. I have great sense of humor, and I'm so happy. I like it here. I love to travel, but still, home is the best. Okay, so I've done a lot of things to change this narrative and misconceptions. I'm a public health parasitologist and a lecturer, and also a mentorship coach. So I've used this my areas of work to, change all the misconceptions and the narrative that they have about Africa. And I will keep doing my work. I will not stop because I believe that we have a great continent that other continents of the world are jealous of. In educational empowerment, I am the CEO of Awesome Touch Global Educational Consults, and I have mentored students and young professionals to develop skills that make them globally competitive. Many of my mentees have gone to excel in international programs and demonstrating the untapped potentials of African human capital. Then, for research contribution, my research in public health parasitology addresses pressing issues of disease burden, especially neglected tropical diseases of underrepresented communities. I have tried to make sure that I put out my findings in international conferences and publishing in reputable journals to make sure that I showcase Africa's role in solving global health challenges. Again, using my mentorship and advocacy program, through my mentorship program, I have empowered young Africans because this my mentorship program is run globally. I have mentored people in different associations. I've mentored people in different foundations. I've mentored people in different NGOs. I've partnered with so many NGOs to make sure that I mentor young African persons to build their presence. I told them what it means to build their presence on social media handles, and thereby challenging the narrative that people have about the African continent. And then I also make them to know that it is very good for them to compete, with other global consumers out there, and then also compete with other global trends out there. I've taught my mentees to tell their own stories. I tell my story from time to time. I emphasize on resilience, innovation, and creativity using my platform. Okay, and then for leadership in academia, I am the head of the department in my university, and as the head of the department in my university, I advocate for resource mobilization to strengthen our laboratory facilities, reflecting our commitment to improve academic and research infrastructure in Africa. I am one of those who believe that we mustn't transport our research materials outside Africa for us to get good work or good data. I believe that some of these things can be done here and then we'll get good and effective results, and we are doing it at the moment. And I also believe that I use my leadership in academia to tell my fellow Africans that we should start telling our research stories in our indigenous languages, okay? Because we do our researches in Africa. You don't expect me to do research in Africa and then you want me to tell the story like I did the work in UK or I did the work in America. So we should start doing like the Chinese people and the Japanese who are telling their research stories in their indigenous languages, okay? And again, as the coordinator of Women in Science in my university and my state, I do everything possible to make them know that we are outstanding people, and as women, we have a great role to play in science by encouraging girls and other women to embrace science because science is life. So, these are some of the things I've done in my own area with my own field. Africa is a very beautiful place, and we need to stop this thing that they are doing. We need to counter, this narrative. Africa has a great positive image, and I'm advising people from now onwards, before you write about Africa, before you think of writing about Africa, you must have your memory flooded with a lot of positive things about Africa instead of coming out here to write things that does not connote the good things about Africa. Africa is a home for 6 of the 10 fastest growing economies globally, leading to economic innovation. They won't talk about it. Africa is one of the when it has to do with innovation hubs. Okay, Africa is emerging as a global, tech hub for many of the startups, addressing local and global challenges. Okay, so I refuse to allow the negative stories they tell about Africa, undermine us from bringing out the things that are being done. Africa has great literature, music, arts, okay, and these are all influencing global culture. Sometimes I see the France, I see the French people, I see the Americans, I see the UK's vibing to African music. In fact, African music have taken over in the global space at the moment. Then I also know that a lot of Africans are winning prestigious literary awards and every other thing out there. Okay, and we have great youths in Africa. We have great youth potentials, and 60% of its population under 25. Okay, they represent Africa, and with their youthful energy, they can have great innovation and growth. So people coming out there to give wrong narratives about Africa, it is very bad. My work reflects this reality by contributing to global health solutions, fostering academic excellence, empowering future leaders. These efforts are helpful to reshape the global perception of Africa from place of need to place of opportunity, strength, and ingenuity. Again, I say, Africa is a beautiful place. Africa has great cultural heritage. Thank you.